Great date to me comes after communication. Me personally, I always like to ask, what is it you like to do as a child? What are some moments you like sharing with your family? And what are some things in your late teens and early 20s that you always wanted to do, but you just couldn't get around to do?
So my advice for fellas and ladies, for the people that you're interested in, before you take them on a date and you want to kind of get to know what they like to do, is a simple conversation on the phone.
So advice I would give when it comes towards dating would be to really pay attention to your partner. Some things they may have said in the past you took notes of. Maybe it was something like, hey, I really want to try this. Or that seems cool, I've never done this before. Just making mental notes of that and then using that later on to your advantage.
First thing first, I wouldn't even recommend for a young lady to even approach a guy and ask for his number or ask him out on a date. Ladies, if you see a guy that you like, that you find attractive and you're interested in him, I strongly believe that you should, put yourself in the place. You guys know how you guys do it. Make yourself available. Put yourself where the guy can approach you and talk to you. Now, if a guy is not approaching you, asking for your information, asking for your number, he's not that interested in you. You don't want to set yourself up where you're in a place where now you're chasing after a guy, you're getting played, and your feelings get hurt, and your time get wasted. So let a man be a man. If a guy likes you, let him come after you. And if he's not approaching you, he's not interested in you. Simple. Yeah, especially.
Before I answer the question and I give my advice, I think it's very important for us to actually study our significant other or study our boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, before we actually go on this date. I think if we can analyze what they like and what they don't like and appreciate or try to let us know what they're passionate about or what they may rep, I think that can really go a long way on giving us what's the best date for that individual.
When you're talking about where to go on a first date, I think it's important for one to look at the individual that you're trying to court or trying to seduce. The other part is to kind of look at, what are you looking to communicate?
Date night. One of the most frustrating things as a single person is trying to figure out whether you take your date someone that's new and exciting, something different than the same old, same old. So I have a few suggestions that you might want to keep in mind next time you're stuck trying to plan out date night.
A little 2 cents of advice on dating. One advice I'd give to both males and females when it comes to dating or relationship, as far as to where to take your date, is listening. That's the most important thing, is just listening to your partner, because with listening, you get to know what's important to your partner. You get a few hints there in a way to take he or she out on a date.
Complicated, I think it's very simple. You also want to ask the person you're dating, before you go on the date, hey, what do you like doing? What do you actually like to eat? Because it helps you plan a lot of different things around your date.
Any dating advice to men and women, I would say basically just be understanding. Get to know the person, get to know kind of what they like and dislike.
Women I've dated previously would tell me how in middle school and high school they like going to the skating rinks, going to the arcades. Some even like going to the batting cages. So what I would do is I would recreate those moments, just because it puts them in an environment to where they feel like a kid again. That feeling of nostalgia is amazing.
I know. Conversation on the phone. Just ask them simply, like, where have you been? What interests you? What haven't you done? And then just kind of keep note and keep track of that, and then surprise them. That's, the easiest way.
I've never been on a picnic before, or I've never been to a gun range before. Like things like that. Just you want to pay attention to those things and really act on them. You don't want to take them somewhere that they may not have interest in. They may be allergic to seafood. You don't want to take them to a seafood restaurant just because that's something you like. You want to pay attention to all their likes. They may not explicitly say it, but just kind of pick up on those small clues and use them to your advantage.
Then back to my fellas, the first date I normally recommend you do something very chill. I normally go to a wine place. We had a place in Charlotte where like a glass of wine is like $7. So 2 glasses of wine is $14. So you guys can sit down, talk, get to know each other. If the date is going well, you can order another glasses, or you can even do a bottle for $10. Then if the date, if the first date really goes very well, you can ask out for maybe a nice fancy dinner, or maybe a basketball game or a football game. And then that's it. Now, fellas, please, another thing is you have to stop somewhere and get flowers on your way to the date. You have to, because most of these women have never gotten flowers their whole life. So I recommend on your way to that first date, you stop, grab flowers, $20, roses or whatever. Please, it will make a big difference, especially if you're, treat a lady like a lady. All right.
My advice to the females is basically look into the guy's wardrobe, see what he's wearing, see what his favorite team, what sports he likes. So if you were to look at my wardrobe for a closer example, you'll see a lot of soccer jerseys. You'll see Barcelona. You'll see Nigeria. You'll see Atlanta FC. So that would probably kind of tell you that I'm a big soccer fan. So if you took me on a soccer date, I would probably appreciate. So really analyzing the guy's wardrobe would probably be my best example for females. For guys, I think it's very important for us to actually listen. Listen. If we can listen to these conversations with females, you can really learn a lot and figure out what they're passionate about. And that will really take you a long way. And also, it doesn't help to actually surprise them or take them out on new adventures or new scenery. They always appreciate that. So I hope those two advice was helpful for guys and girls, and hopefully you'll find a perfect date.
For me, I think a first date is perfect at like your favorite local coffee shop or pastry bar that just has just like a really nice vibe, but then just also kind of shows like a little bit of your creativity, shows a little bit of like your where you would frequent on like just a chill day or whatnot. Something that's obviously inexpensive, but also has the potential to just kind of really be like a common staple that you would enjoy. So we talk about first date. I think it should be low key, something intimate, something that just really provides a sense of this is the kind of person I am, and this is what I hope you can kind of gain from being and spending time with me.
One is check out your local art scene. Galleries, museums, street art, things of that nature. Art is always very subjective. It's very much in the eye of the beholder. And, check out your local art scene. You'll be able to get an interesting perspective on different pieces from you and your date. Kind of talk through some different things and see what they like, see what they don't like. And it'll lead to some interesting dialogue. So I would definitely keep that in mind. Your local art scene is always a good idea to kind of get some different conversations and things of that nature. Number two, check out your historic neighborhoods. A lot of these historic neighborhoods have festivals, events, fairs going on, especially in the summertime. It's a good opportunity for you and your date to kind of get lost in the city together and kind of learn more about a neighborhood they might not be quite as familiar with. And number three is wine tasting or beer tasting. It's a good opportunity to see some of your local merchants and vendors and some of your local breweries and wineries and see what they have cooking up at their locations. Like I said, once again, just Google. You can type in art galleries. You can type in wine tasting, historic neighborhoods. And you'll see what's going on that weekend before you have to plan out your next date. So keep that in mind. Good luck to you, and peace.
You can find out common interests. Common interests are important. For example, if your date's an outdoorsy person, going hiking or rock climbing, you might be going out for dinner, or going out to a concert or whatnot. But basically, just listening and finding common interests, would be a good way to get ideas for a first date.
Caught up. You want to make sure you're asking them questions. Hey, look, do you like this kind of food? Do you like to do this kind of things? Because once you're on the date, it's an L, bro. Like if she doesn't like it, it's an L. If she loves it, it's a W. So you want to make sure that you have a W and ask her questions. For ladies, when he's asking these questions, it's not because he's trying to just pass by these questions and do the questions game. He's trying to figure out where to take you out to eat, what do you like doing, so you can plan dates around that. So I think it's a give and take, a compromise, because yes, you want to go on dates, but please, you don't want to spend the guy's money and waste it when you're not really enjoying yourself. So it works both ways.
Again, if dating is about time, then it doesn't really matter where y'all go, as long as y'all are doing something where y'all can talk and get to know each other. So my advice is get to know the person, understand, what they like, what they dislike, and what be a neutral ground where y'all can do something and still have fun in the process.